Hi, I'm Faded and I'm going to talk about tourism. First of all, what's tourism? Tourism refers to all activity related to the short-term movement of people to locations where away from where they live. Also, tourism doesn't cover activities related to travel where the person intends to stay in the destination for longer than 1 year. And for example, a student uh, are not considered technically considered as a tourist because they are traveling just for education or to study in another country. It's not like they are traveling just for fun or for pleasure. They have uh, some reasons to travel, like they want to have a better education or something like that. Also, we classify tourism in three types. First, domestic tourism, which refers to activities of a visitor within their country and outside of their home. For example, if you reside on Chiapas and you travel to Playa del Carmen, to Quintana Roo, you are doing domestic tourism because you are traveling to one state to other, but you are in your country. You are not traveling out of your country. Second one is inbound tourism and refers to activities of a visitor from outside of a country of residence. For example, people who comes to Mexico to spend their holidays, they are doing inbound tourism. Well, we receive inbound tourism because they don't belong here and they come here to spend their vacation. We can do inbound tourism in our country. We do inbound tourism if we travel to another country and we are like foreigners and we are traveling to another country, so that the people who live in that place uh, are thinking about we are doing inbound tourism, as we think of people who comes to Mexico. And the last one is outbound tourism and refers to travel to a different country for a visitor or for a holiday. And as I mentioned before, if we travel to another country, for example Japan, we are doing outbound tourism because we are out of our country. But also, if we travel to another country, the people who live in that place say like, oh, you are doing inbound tourism because you come to my country. So yeah. And also we have a lot of types of tourism, but I'm gonna mention just three. First, rural tourism is when a tourist spend their time in a rural area. Especially travel can visit those places to enjoy their lonely time or enjoy his his own company. For example, there are some municipalities who that belongs to Pueblos Mágicos program. So the people who comes to visit these magical towns, those magical towns, are doing rural tourism because that places are so quiet and reliable and nice, cute. Second one is dark tourism, and it's referred to people who travel to places and sites that have a lot of story, but also are witness the greatest tragedies in story. Besides the story of human suffering, and bloodshed also had a lot of historical value. For example, Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan are receive a lot of tourists, and this is considered as dark tourism. Also, there are people who like scary experiences and travel to visit some haunted houses. That's also dark tourism. And the last one is cultural tourism. This tourism mainly focuses on the historical sites and on the artistic features that country. For example, me, I really love Japan's culture. So if I travel to Japan, I'm doing cultural tourism because I'm going to visit the Shintoist temples, or I'm going to visit the Akihabara station, Akihabara street, and buy some anime stuff because I really like that part of the culture. Or even I'm going to visit a store, and I rent a yukata, and I dress like a geisha, and I spend my time doing that things. So that's cultural tourism, like living the culture in your own skin. And as everything has positive and negative things, and tourism had some too. So I'm gonna mention some positive and negative things. We're gonna start talking about the positive ones. One positive thing is like local traditions and customs are kept alive because tourists enjoy traditional shows. They really enjoy it. Then that's good because Mexico had a lot of this traditional and custom things. For example, the Dia de los Muertos. Some tourists come in November to live the experience, this beautiful experience. And also, tourism, as we know, can provide a lot of jobs and improve the wealth of the area or even of the country. As we know, Dubai depends in a great way of tourism. And the other things are that most money goes out of the area to big companies, and sometimes the people who works in tourism industry are locals, and they are paid like the companies paid low to the locals, and that's unfair because they work a lot and they don't receive the pay that they deserve. And another thing is the damage to the natural environment. For example, egg footpath erosion that affects the archaeological sites. For example, Machu Picchu has this big problem, so sometimes some seasons Machu Picchu close its doors because there's a really big problem. And also the environment or the habitats are destroyed to build hotels, and that's so bad because we lose a lot of species because they move to another environments, and they do a mess with this. But it's okay. It's really really hard topic because some cities depends in an economy, in talking about economy, depends on tourism, but also there are some things that they don't do well. For example, destroy habitats. But so that was my opinion. What's my own comments and thoughts. So I hope you enjoy this video. So that's all. Thank you. Bye.